Good evening. It's 5:30. Welcome to the February 7th, 2023 Downtown Development Board meeting. I ask that everyone silence their phones, that would include me, and cease any private conversations. Members, please lean forward and speak clearly. I think, is that the microphone?
Yeah, it's the two in the
two?
center.
So we have to talk loudly because it's being recorded for YouTube. We're no video, just audio, and I think we have people dialing in. Is that correct?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh.
It was supposed to, yeah.
Oh, well, maybe not. So let's start with introductions of our members. We'll start off to my left.
Jennifer Frazier.
Keenan Kinsel.
Chiara Zaniboni.
Shahab Amrani.
Mikhail Korosov.
Lina Teixeira.
Thank you. Item 2.1, regular minutes of the previous meeting. Ann.
Yes. This is just approval of your minutes from the January 10th regular downtown development meeting.
All right. Everybody's had a chance to look at them.
Yeah.
Any corrections?
No.
Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 10th meeting.
Perfect. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Jennifer, second by Chiara. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Citizens to be heard, 3.0. Do we have any citizens that want to? Yes. Or do you want to wait until your item?
Oh, wait.
Okay, any others? Okay, then we'll just move on. 4.1, and swearing in of newly elected members.
So if I can get our newly elected and re-elected DDB members, this is your ceremonial oath of office. Stand, please. So this is just the oath
You just
of
got
office that
re-elected,
we
you.
did.
No.
No,
No,
it's
that's
Terry.
Terry. She's not here. So raise your right hand. You will say your name where I say mine. I, Ann Lopez,
I'm
I,
Mikhail
Jennifer
Korosov.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Florida
and of the state of Florida
and the charter and laws
and the charter and laws
of the city of Clearwater
of the city of Clearwater
and the bylaws
and the bylaws
of the city of Clearwater
of the city of Clearwater
Downtown Development Board,
Downtown Development Board,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the charter and laws
under the charter and laws
of the city of Clearwater,
of the city of Clearwater,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
perform the duties
perform the duties
of member of the board
of member of the board
of which I am now about to enter.
of which I am now about to enter.
Congratulations.
Excellent. Welcome, Mikhail.
Thank you, sir.
All the way from across the pond. 4.2, Ann, appoint the officers for, well, we just did that.
You did not-
Oh, no, we're going to move right on to appointment of officers. Okay.
So the first appointment that we have for officer for the Downtown Development Board is for the chair.
You would ask for volunteers?
Any volunteers?
I think Keenan has already volunteered.
Yeah, fully.
Okay.
Anyone else? Done. Thanks. Do
What
need
we
a
could
motion?
do, probably the easiest thing to do is let's get the full slate and do a motion on the slate.
For the vice chair,
Was Terry.
the vice chair is currently held by Terry Levitsky.
I think since she's not here, I'll nominate Terry as the vice chair.
Beautiful.
Was that Terry?
Yeah.
Ms.
Secretary,
Me?
and treasurer is currently Festus.
He's done a great job.
Let it roll.
Who is treasurer?
Festus. So basically, what I'm hearing is the same round.
Keenan for chair, Terry Levitsky Vice Chair Chiara Zandavini for Secretary, and Festus Corbetti for Treasurer.
You need to get a motion
We
to
did.
approve that slate.
Correct. I need a motion for that slate.
Okay, I motion to nominate Keenan as a chair, Terry Novinsky as a vice chair, myself as a secretary, and
Mr. Corbett.
Festus, thank you, as a treasury.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
So we have a nomination by, a first by Kiara and a second by Shahab. All in favor?
Aye.
4.3, list of upcoming events funded by the DDB. Do you have a list?
There's only one, and that is the April 13th, the third annual Tampa Bay Ukulele Festival, held on April 13th, 2024, from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m., located on 400 through 500 blocks of Cleveland.
Beautiful, thank you. Now, the main event, I think what our audience is here for. Item 4.4, the special event grant funding request for a Memorial Day event produced by the Veterans Alliance of Clearwater and Lopez.
The purpose of this item is to approve the funding for the Veterans Alliance of Clearwater Memorial Day event in an amount not to exceed $20,000. This event will take place on May 24th, 2024, with an estimated attendance of 2,000 people. The Veterans Alliance of Clearwater estimates that the total budget cost for this event will be $81,000. Their contribution will be $15,000, and are asking the Downtown Development Board for a total of $66,000 to cover costs associated with sound, lighting, labor, entertainment, food, beverage, and marketing. Based on the DDB's funding policy, staff recommends funding this event in an amount not to exceed $20,000, which will cover up to $15,000 in marketing expenses and $5,000 in entertainment. The Veterans Alliance of Clearwater grant request aligns with the Downtown Development Board's current work plan to fund various special events throughout the DDB district and increase awareness of downtown as a destination. Pending board approval, the Veterans Alliance will complete a grant agreement that outlines the details of their event and the marketing benefits for the DDB. And I have Father Bob Swick and some other gentlemen here that can answer any questions that the board may have.
Fantastic. Welcome to our meeting.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I'll let you take that seat right there in the middle, so you don't have to stand here at the podium with me.
Well, once again, let us pray. I'm sorry, wrong. Just kind of comes out on me. I'm chairman of the Veterans Alliance, and I'm here to give some background, if I may, because I'm sure that's pretty much strongly on everyone's mind. We were incorporated about 20 years ago. Time goes by, and it was a handful of veterans that answered the call by the current mayor at that time, Frank Hibbert, to pick up the reins where the city's dropped the ball on hosting a Veterans Day program for the city. There were a handful, and that's all, a handful of us that agreed to do so. And we started around 2004, 2004, and very modestly at Long Center, we had as many vendors as we had participants. It was a delightful time. From there, we sprang forward. The patriotism at that era of time in the city of Clearwater was frankly extraordinary. The second event that we held was at the Clearwater High School. And that was a very special location because we were hosting, for the very, very first time ever, the United States Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon. A whole platoon came down for the event. And that was significant because Clearwater High School has a JROTC program that is Marine Corps JROTC. So we had these Marines, if you will, up on the field in support of the young cadets strutting their stuff. And they did such a marvelous job. They were just rather extraordinary. And of course the Marines followed in suit. What was amazing about this is that we had 5,000 people come to this event. 5,000. And people came up to me to introduce themselves from all the surrounding states and every part of Florida that I can imagine, from the Keys to the Panhandle and points in between. This was an extraordinary gathering. And we continued on from there, and it continued to go up. And then it started to go down. And sadly, the support of the city lingered a bit in these past few years. But I'm happy to report that once again, we have the full backing of the city of Clearwater. Hoorah!
Right.
Hoorah! And when I say full backing, they are the ones that are in so very, very strong support of us putting together a parade once again. You know, when I moved down here from Connecticut, we had a parade as part of the Veterans Day program, and it was full of floats, and it was an extraordinary thing. And then it just dissipated, like so many things. But you know something? We have no hard, solid numbers, but roughly around 21,000 veterans in Clearwater.
Yeah.
Clearwater represents about 10–11% of total households. And many of those are of my era of time and younger, of course. But the desire to want to come together again is building and building. We're watching it grow. In the course of these years, we have legacies that will hold into the future, specifically with the city's cooperation, and boy, I'm telling you, strong cooperation. We established the Florida Veterans Memorial Plaza in downtown Clearwater at Presley Park. And we have a quadrant of that park strictly for the sanctuary. We brought together a takeoff of the Vietnam Wall. That's very near and dear to many of us. And we hold to that. And we have our ceremonies there in large measure, but not specifically tied to that. We have that as a foundation focal point for recognition of the patriotism in Clearwater. Very visible. And to make that visible, from the beginning of Pinellas County at the Courtney Campbell Causeway all the way to its terminus on State Route 60, that entire mileage of roadway is secondarily named Purple Heart Trail. Those are the legacies that we brought to the city of Clearwater, and they'll hold true continuing going forward. And going forward, under the direction and leadership of Robbie Gruber, our recently ordained president, if you will, we have a segment of the veteran population that has been underrepresented. Robbie's section, the 9/11 folks, and the folks that served in Afghanistan and Iraq. He's bringing together with a parade. So we feel very, very comfortable, and we have support of the American Legion, Post 7, and put this parade on. It's going to be, once again, as gigantic as the originals were, we hope, we fully expect, and with the support of the Downtown Development Board, financially and in spirit. This is going to be a whole new evolvement, if you will, evolution, I wanted to say, of a resurrection of patriotism once again. With that as a preamble, I'll open myself up to any questions, as long as they're nice and gentle. Yes,
May
ma'am.
I? You're seeking how much? Your grant was not for 20 grand. How much are you asking?
We're asking,
For each of-
minimally $66,000.
For this event?
Each event.
For each event, yes.
Right, and the majority of that is going to be going to take care of the cost of all the labor of putting sound aboard. And we do have contacts within Ruth Decker Hall at the CEO level, Susan, and being introduced to her for their support entirely.
Okay.
Any board questions?
So my understanding is you're having 2 asks of 66 each.
Well, we're gonna do one at a time though. But
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
Right, but
But
in
I'm
total it's gonna
yes,
be 2.
that'll be the next, correct.
Okay.
So the first one is for Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And the second one is gonna be for
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
Yes.
Do any of your fellow veterans over here, are they wanting to be part of the presentation or just
Yes.
here for, anybody want to step up and add to what has been said yet, or? Before he starts, I just want to say, most people ask me who cuts my hair, Father Bob, and I just tell them God cuts it. But the truth is, my first haircut was from my dad's best friend who was lost in Vietnam. So, I think this is a great thing.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Can we get up? Very well.
It's a great honor. My name is Jim Rudolph. It's a great honor to address this group. I appreciate the way that Father Bob was received here today. He is a constant source of he keeps us up. He's visionary. You may not know, and I do not wish to embarrass him, but Father Bob is a Purple Heart recipient from Vietnam. He also holds the Vietnam Cross of Gallantry. So he is he's an inspired leader to all of us. So I just want to say that as this project was brought to us, we were told to, I believe that the term was to dream wildly about what we could do to bring people in to see this wonderful new downtown. I walk down downtown every day. You probably don't need to know this, but they told me to lose 60 pounds, and I told me I'm down 35, and I've got from all the way down Cleveland and back to Nature's Food Pack. I can tell you it's 2.5 miles. Anyone who had anything to do with it. What a wonderful drive into downtown Clearwater. We have so much to show off now. And so your instructions that you gave us were to dream big and what would we like to do. So we certainly have plans for entertainment, for musicians that people won't have to Google, they won't have to go to Wikipedia. There will be names that people recognize and they'll be excited to hear about. There'll be older names for the veterans group, as they are an older group. But I just want everybody here to also know that part of our whiteboarding has included talking about, my own son, Jimmy, was a junior at Clearwater High School on 9/11, and he just celebrated his 40th birthday, which bothers me. But that generation,
No, go ahead when you're done.
as we all know, that generation, only 1% to 2% has raised their right hand and sworn allegiance to the country and served. So, but that generation, I'm talking about our children, all of us that are in this room, our children have been raised in this 9/11 generation. They all, Clearwater High School, Countryside High School, they all know someone who served. Most of them know someone who may have been wounded. Some of them know somebody that didn't come back. So we also have made part of our whiteboarding, as we're talking about Veterans Day and Memorial Day, also talked about including what we call the Patriot Day, the 9/11 people, which are between 20 and 40, to get them involved, to come down here, be down here, and be part of these celebrations. Obviously, we'd have, some of that music would have to be a little bit younger for them to dance that the older. But the work that I've been so shocked and so thrilled with what I see here. I wasn't born here, but I did go to school here, elementary, junior high, and high school. This is my town. I'm proud of what you guys have done what you're trying to do from this board. And so I simply wanted to speak in favor of what we're dying to get at this job. Yes, sir.
Well, I have a question. As far as the route, I know that the grand finale will be at Coachman Park and with a lot of entertainment and whatnot, but the route of the parade, and I know Marines are very competitive people, so are we going to include other branches of the military, and how many, and how large of a parade, and where will it be rolling?
Properly addressed by the representative from the American Legion.
Sure.
Ken's going to be talking about that. Yes, sir.
I know the old World War II Harley Davidson, one of our mayors mentioned that would look very nice in front of the parade, and I donated it to Total Use, so we'd love to see that happen. So I commend you all for what you're trying to do, and for what everybody's trying to do to promote our beautiful city, and I think we're going down the right path. Is there anything that I did not discuss about that you wanted me to discuss? That I will.
Thank you.
Thank you all for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Jerry Schaefer. I am a Marine, one of those guys that don't want the Army or the Air Force.
That's
or
what I was.
anybody else to
There
be
we
a part
go.
of it.
I thought so.
I served actually during the first Gulf War. I know that what you're thinking, I'm way too old to have served way back then. But I did. By trade, I'm a business consultant, and I focus on technology and veterans. Over the past 25 years, I've dedicated my life to working with veterans on the for-profit side and also the nonprofit side. I have a nonprofit called Veteran Forces, which I'm partnered with 12 Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. You can ask these gentlemen over here the significance of that and how important that is. I gave you each a ribbon. That's yours to take. That's a Veterans Awareness ribbon. I'll get you gentlemen some as well. The reason I gave you that is that's one of the items that we created through my nonprofit. So veterans do not have an awareness ribbon. You have the active duty ribbon, which is the yellow ribbon, tied yellow ribbon around the old tree. And so we actually created this, we trademarked it, and we give them away to veterans. So I just wanted you to have them before this event here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have actually put on several events similar to this, concerts and sporting events around the country. I've had my own, I've worked with others. I'm currently working with the Atlanta Hawks for the past couple of years to put on a Veterans Appreciation event, which is coming up this year, March 27th. And so I've done anything from 1,000 people to 20,000 people. This is right in my wheelhouse, very easy to put on board. When they came to me, Robbie and Father Bob and Jim, and asked me if I wanted to be a part of this, I said absolutely. Matter of fact, the very first thing that I did is I got in contact with a gentleman named Kurt Motley. Kurt Motley is part of UTA, and he was the agent for Toby Keith. And I'm good friends with Kurt. I literally did this 3 days ago. I reached out to Kurt, I sent him an email, I said, hey, I have a function down here, I'd like to get Toby down here. And he emailed me back and he said, I'm not booking Toby at this time, but are you interested in these artists? And these are big name artists. And I said, absolutely, we're interested in anyone. And he was going to give me a call, not yesterday, the day before yesterday. And he didn't give me a call, and then I woke up the next morning and I realized why. He was very close to Toby. We toured around with him. Matter of fact, Toby, just a side note here, Toby actually surpassed Bob Hope for the number of USO Tours concerts that he performed for our troops. He passed Bob Hope. And so that's how patriotic he was. Kurt was actually with him for every single tour, even though he's just his agent. He went there every single time that Toby went there, went to every single concert. So he's a patriot is what I'm getting at. I do have the wherewithal, the experience to do all these types of events. I've done some with Lone Star, Joe Diffie, Mark Wills, some really big name country music artists. I've done stuff with Snoop Dogg. So I have, UTA themselves have hundreds of different artists that run the spectrum of different genres and categories. Part of what I'm here to discuss today, though, is the economic impact to Clearwater. And I want to read this to you so I don't mess it up. But Oxford Economics, a global economic forecasting and analysis firm, cites that a $100 purchase of a ticket for a concert can add up to $350 in additional spending on top of that, which is a big impact on destination communities hosting annual music festivals. And the key there is annual. So to start off with something like this and have it go year after year after year, it's going to build up and it's going to get bigger and people are going to hear about it and it's going to bring more people into Clearwater for that event. And they mentioned a $100 ticket, even though this is a free concert, the value of that ticket will be over $100 with the amount of the level of entertainment, I should say, that we're bringing in. Let me give you an example. Anyone familiar with Telluride, Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Telluride, Colorado has a bluegrass festival. They have 2,500 residents there in Telluride. They attract 12,000 total attendees, and they generate $1,050 in economic impact per person. Per person, totaling just short of $10 million of economic impact for a little town that has 2,500. There's no reason why Clearwater wouldn't be able to do that as well and build that up. Are you familiar with Sunfest out in West Palm?
Yep.
So I've been to Sunfest a few times. I actually had a friend of mine that ran the entire thing. He was the president out there. And they generate $10 million in economic impact every year that they put that on. It's a great festival. I don't think you can do something that large because they have a lot more property, a lot more room, but certainly do something of that magnitude in terms of the impact that it would have here for Clearwater. I know that you mentioned that there was a ukulele fest, and I believe there's a jazz fest and there's a blues fest that are here. Me, doesn't really interest me too much. Nothing wrong with any of those. But what I'm getting at is all of those are a niche, and they're a very small niche. Someone may like the blues, someone may like ukuleles, someone may like everything else that comes down here. Great events. But they're not going to have the impact of this event. And I'll explain to you why. In the United States here, there's 19 million veterans. Out of that 19 million veterans, there's also the family members, the patriots of the family that never served. You're talking about kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, you name it. That adds up to 100 million people in the United States that are patriots that care about their veterans. That's a huge number. That's almost a third of the population, okay? In Florida alone, it's the third largest veteran populated state. And we have 1.3 million here in Florida. Now, what I can tell you, I'm not sure the exact numbers here in Clearwater. What I can tell you is I personally, through what I do with veterans, have an email list of 14,000 for Pinellas County, 15,000 for Hillsborough County, and 8,000 for Pasco County. So the three counties right here. So that's about 30,000 emails that I have that I can reach out and touch somebody. Hey, we're having this great event down here. Come hang out, enjoy the day, celebrate veterans. What you also may not know is that 70% of veterans are married. So that's another 20,000 when you talk about you factor in their spouses as well. That's a huge number. We're only looking to get, we're not only looking to get 9,000, 10,000, but the sound holds 9,000. So from a concert perspective, we'll have 9,000 there, there's no doubt about it, especially with the level of entertainment. But when you talk about all the other festivities that will be going on, and I envision this being a 2-day event, a 3-day event eventually, not this first year, and just growing and and growing and growing. Who doesn't have an affinity for veterans? Very few people. You may not have an affinity for the blues, you may not have an affinity for jazz, but most people have an affinity for veterans, and there's a reason to come down here. You factor in the parade, you factor in the other things that we'll be doing. You talked about getting the silent drill platoon. I've gotten them. I work directly with the Marine Corps Recruiting Command and the Army Recruiting Command right now. So I can get a lot of assets, especially with the recruiting being so tough. They want to do events like this. I can have them bring in semis with all this high-speed, low-drag stuff, and I've done it before. Let's see.
Helicopters?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Not a question about it.
You know, we expect to get the Coast Guard as well as SOCOM.
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that because you got that waterfront too, so you
Yeah.
can put on different displays. We can have amphibious landings, we can have helos coming in and people repelling. Obviously, there's safety concerns and you have to block that off. But those absolutely can happen, and I've been a part of events that those have happened. And I'm up there with a 3-star general in the Army that's running the recruiting command, so I can ask anything of them.
Nice.
I think that that's all that I have. I don't know if anyone has any questions off of questions. I have to say.
So you didn't really say, you will include the other branches?
Unfortunately, sir, yes.
Okay, good. For the record.
You know, at the end of the day, and one of the things that I love about being a veteran, not as much as being a Marine, but as a veteran itself, I grew up in a very large veteran family. And Navy, Army, everyone but the Coast Guard. And I grew up listening to this banter back and forth. And I absolutely love it because we can pick on the Army, we can pick on the Navy, but the level of respect and the love that we have and the appreciation for their service is the same regardless.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else want to talk about the parade portion, the part that's going to happen downtown, and how it's going to tie into the? We kind of get there's going to be a huge festival down in the park.
I'm an Army guy. I spent 26 years in the Army, and I know this area quite well. I'm actually from Oregon, but I play pro baseball here in the Cardinal organization, and down at Elling Field, and we used to come up and play in Dunedin and the Phillies and all of that. So this is where I decided when I finally would settle here. It's a wonderful place. The parade, I'm the operations officer for the parade, and Post 7, the Clearwater Post, or the Legion, we're in full, actually excitement over being able to do this. I have made contact with Clearwater High School. We do have the Marine Corps platoon. We also have some people over at CENTCOM and SOCOM. I was a part of SOCOM at one time in my life. We made a lot of friends there. We may have what I consider a magnificent parade. Mr. Cook was made aware, Dave, we did a reconnaissance and did a real small look, and we were much smaller in our footprint than Mr. Cook is. We're going to get, which is great for us. We're going to get to see all of downtown Clearwater. So all of that's in full swing. The parade will, the way I'm assuming it will happen, will be ending at the park, and hopefully we get the entertainment. It should be a wonderful event. I see no problems, and like I said, I've got 800 members at the Legion that are repping and ready to go.
Nice. Any questions for this gentleman?
Where would it be beginning? Do you have an idea on that yet? I mean, how far east are we going is what I'm asking.
I'm not sure, because I haven't seen Mr. Cook's.
So Parks and Rec has said they'll work with us on laying out the actual route. They have some ideas.
Could you come up here so we get you, thank you.
So, Robbie met with Chris Cook and his staff from Parks and Rec last week, and they had some ideas as to the route that they would prefer. They were very enthused about this and was excited to kind of map it out with us. Kenny and his guys have actually walked the route that they thought of, but Parks and Rec has something in mind. We can just work with whatever they have.
Okay.
We actually went through every foot of it, sidewalks, streets. I actually was an ops officer in Fort Lewis, Washington, and did a parade in downtown Seattle. Be amazed how much goes into a parade, so I wasn't a rookie. So we've looked at it, it'll be a wonderful event.
Well,
It would be any further east than Mercado, probably.
Okay. I was just curious because I'm sort of the old timer with the board. In the 90s, we used to have one that started back where Nature's Food Patch is now and came all the way down to the park. So I was wondering if we're looking at something like that.
Possibly, yeah, and I think
Okay.
Chris and
You are.
Peter, those folks have something.
Okay, thank you.
I think we're gonna also get the Clearwater band, high school band, all kinds of stuff that I think, all will meet your expectation.
Okay.
I also might mention that we're seeking out to secure Saturday before Memorial Day, similarly the Saturday before Veterans Day. That is significant not only because of the day of the week, and the participation that will ensue, but it also avoids any conflicts. And, you know, at Memorial Day, those that have lost somebody and have a burial at, say, Bay Pines, they want to go to Bay Pines naturally. And we avoid that conflict. Every one of the cities around here has something going on Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And we've always been having difficulty trying to stay out of conflict with them. So this will avoid all that.
Okay.
Beautiful. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, Ann?
I just want to point out to the board that this request does not mention anything about a parade. This request solely mentions an event in the sound at Coachman.
The attachment has the parade in it. I went through it.
Yeah.
This is their funding request.
Okay, but I'm talking about what they've agreed to do includes the parade in.
Okay.
Okay,
This is what their funding request is for.
but that doesn't mean their event is limited to that funding or request. They do have the parade on, in their attachment.
I just want to make sure
Okay.
that everyone,
Thank you, Ann.
Yeah.
Yes, I noticed the sound is the,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, Father Bob, what kind of support are you getting from the city besides?
From the city?
Yes.
Well, first off, we have support of the city manager. We have support of the city council. We have support of the Parks and Recs. That is huge because we lost the support of the city manager. We lost the support of the enthusiasm of the Parks and Recs. And we watched everything dwindle in these past few years. Now it's come back. And it came back the previous event that we had. And the enthusiasm is very, very strong. Our caterer, the director there at Parks and Recs, is 1,000% behind us, with us.
I was trying to find out what does it entail besides the enthusiasm of the city?
What does it entail?
Yes.
Their backbone work and financing.
they're working with Parks and Recreation. They've not submitted a special event funding request. I did confirm that today. But they are working with Parks and Recreation. I do know that they have been having conversations with special events and our caterer, who's the director, regarding both events.
So they will provide financing for it also.
I'm sorry?
So they were providing financing for you.
We got financing from the city management, yes.
Awesome.
And that's $5,000 for each event. That started out 20 years ago, and it has not increased by a penny. But it did decrease over this past few years, and now it's been reinstituted. So that's an example of the support, the financial backing.
Great.
Yes, Elise.
No, go ahead, I'm not. To address Ann's concern, in the agreement that I drafted, there's a requirement that a parade happen, and you all don't object to the fact that I put that in the contract. Okay, thank you.
We're all for it.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to address the concern that the contract does cover the parade.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any more board questions? Thank you for coming. Now we get to chat a minute. You can watch. Any citizen comments? No? I'm going to request a motion, but before I do, obviously, we're looking at something beyond our quote procedural, terms we put in last year. We're sitting on a carryover of a lot of money. So my recommendation to think with is some of the reasons that we can be looking at the full amount as you make your motions is that we have a surplus of funds in our reserves right now. The council has obviously urged us to invest as much as we can and to look at going beyond our normal limits. And this would be a kickstart event of a signature event that could last beyond all of our lifetimes, and probably even outgrow the Jazz Holiday if possible with this type of commitment. And finally, it's the veterans. As the gentleman just discussed, it's a new demographic for the city to focus on for the DDB, and I think it would be an extraordinary demographic to support. So those would be my reasons behind going beyond the normal.
Yep.
Understood. Elise, should we create a motion to increase the number, or we could approve this and then add additionals, or?
No, you all, the staff recommendation is a staff recommendation.
Correct.
So you have the original ask, which was, I believe, 66. They are spending, they're putting in 15, I believe.
Yes.
And so whoever is making the motion would just state, if you're going with the staff recommendation, you don't have to really say much beyond that. If you are going beyond the staff recommendation, then you state reasons for deviation from the policy. You have every right to deviate from the policy. We've made that clear all along. So it's just, now, part of the reason we say you have to state the reasons for the deviation is we want people to have some sort of idea of how we are going to be ruling in the future. That is not a big concern right now.
No.
Because it is highly unlikely that this board will exist as it is. I don't see a sudden burst of sanity. So it is unlikely that this board will exist as it is beyond March 31st. So you all don't really have to worry about what people get their hopes up when they come before you. Because I don't think in the next meeting we're going to have a huge influx of requests either. So the main reason for that policy no longer exists.
So do I have a motion?
Yes, I'd like to propose a motion for special grant funding of a Memorial Day event that is being produced by Veterans Alliance in Clearwater in the amount of $66,000. Since the city of Clearwater has decided to pitch in $5,000, I think downtown should put a lot more than that.
Second.
I would like actually to motion to cover $81,000, the entire amount, including what they are their expenses, as there is a big family impact, the economic impact with all the people that are bringing into downtown, and of course there is the big part of the patriotism, and I mean, who doesn't?
A point of order. We need a second to that motion before you can discuss the motion,
Ah, okay.
okay?
So we have two motions
And now
on the
you can,
table.
no, you only have one motion, you have the original motion. If you, I know, I'm the neighborhood geek, all right. If you don't get a second to his motion, by the way, you can second something and you don't have to vote for it. You can second it to get it on the table. So if you get a second to the motion, then you have discussions, and you can at that point say, the reason I'm not supporting it is I feel we should do
Oh,
more
okay.
or
Great.
less. All right,
Or,
Never happened.
okay, but you need a second before you get into that.
so, but we don't have to have a second. So do I have a second?
For Shahab.
Correct.
Do
For
we
the
have a-
We have a second right here.
So we have the first motion for the 66,000 by Shahab and a second by Mikhail.
Now you go into
Now
discussion.
we have discussions. Do we have a?
So my discussion was that I actually asked to approve the $81,000 as there is going to be a big family impact and especially the economic impact for all the businesses in downtown Clearwater with all this big influx of people coming over. And also to support the patriotism. I mean, it's the first time that we are having a big event like this from veterans in downtown since the renovation of the park and so on.
Do we know where the other 15,000 are coming from?
Yeah, you can read it here. And,
15,000 is what the Veterans Alliance of Clearwater. has
exactly,
budgeted
is
for them.
what they are bringing
So what
in.
they're saying is the total cost for the event will be 81,000. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
on a trip. They're gonna contribute 15,000. Their ask of the DDB is 66.
But they will.
To Kiara's point, if we move to the 81,000, it gives them 15,000 to throw into extra marketing or other things.
Well,
That's right.
that's my question. Will it actually help a lot if we would increase that amount, or?
Can we get an agreement that actually put a major portion of that on marketing so it can actually reach
Well, the
more
majority
people?
of the monies are going to just to pay for the sound, for the labor, to have the sound available.
Renting the stage.
They
No,
say-
I meant the extra between the 15,000,
To
that
answer your
portion.
question, yes.
Exactly.
That would be bringing more people.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
because
the
of
point would be more towards a lease. Could that be added to the contract?
Exactly.
We can add that the 15,000 be used for marketing. We can add that the 15,000 be used for things that are not in the sound.
Like
Because
the
you keep
parade.
saying you want to spread out through downtown. The sound is a wonderful facility, but it doesn't bring people, the parade would bring people
Exactly.
in through
The parade,
downtown.
maybe we
So
can add
you
that.
could add, if you wanted, and specify that the additional funding definitely be targeted to the parade.
Marketing to the parade. Yes.
If I may, for example.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We'd love to get some billboards up, and, because that attracts people from all over. And, history's shown the value of that on 19 and on Gulf to Bay. It's gonna bring a lot of folks.
And I had a conversation today with iHeartRadio and the country music stations.
Anyone who talks has to come up
Sorry,
here.
I need you guys
Anybody who
to
talks
come here to speak, just
has to be up here.
Well, I think at this point, though, I think what I'm perceiving is these gentlemen say, hell yes, we'll spend it all on marketing
Yeah.
to answer the question, so we can
Right.
put it in the contract, and then we'll work out the details as we do that. Is that fair? Yes, okay,
Well, I
good.
propose
So,
a motion to increase the funding to
well, I
81,000.
think before we do the second motion, we have to vote on the first.
Yeah,
He can withdraw his motion
Then we need a
with the
withdrawal.
consent of his second.
Excellent.
yeah, I'd like to withdraw the motion and increase the motion to
So
81,000.
we have a motion to withdraw and increase, and do I have a second?
Second.
And we have a second by Kiara. But this gentleman needs to withdraw his second also, for the record, is that correct?
Actually, yeah, he
Yeah.
has to withdraw his second,
So-
but I assume he nodded. I took
Okay,
it as he
good, so
did.
we
All
have a
right.
withdrawal, it's formal. Excellent. So we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion on this item?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my question is, so basically, we increasing the amount to 81,000, so we fund it fully.
Correct.
And then all their 15,000 will basically go on marketing, which is yet to be figured out, and that should attract more people.
It'll be added specifically.
My only thing, I guess personally, would be if there is a way to. I know we were talking about the route that the parade will take, and we do not know exactly what the route will be. Am I
Once
right?
we have that resolved with our caterer and the city.
Right.
I'm sorry, anyone who talks or answers questions needs to come up here, because my
For the-
secretary is
for the
going to be
microphone.
listening to the recording.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But the parade is not a part of this.
It is good.
If we're directing them that the extra 15,000 goes to marketing, it has nothing to do with the parade or where it's at. It's the
Right,
marketing for
but-
this event is what that 15,000 would be that we're directing.
But-
So we've got to make sure we're clear on what we're saying.
But the parade will be part of the contract.
It's
And
not part of that funding.
no, but it will be part of the contract. When we do events, we quite often fund a portion of the event, but we say the
if we're
whole
saying-
event has to happen.
But if we're
I
saying
mean,
15,000 goes to marketing,
Ma-
we're
well-
not saying
Well-
marketing for just the
we're
sound
talking
for
marketing for the parade,
We're
marketing
talking
for the
about whole
parade.
event.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's like Jazz Holiday, we just paid for the 3 extra things, but we weren't going to be, it was part of the overall Jazz Holiday. They still had to have Jazz Holiday, okay? And this is similar. Even though we're not funding the parade, they have to have the parade if they want funding from us.
Jennifer brings up a
And
good-
that'll be in the agreement.
I guess the question would be back to Father Bob, that the intention is to have a huge parade, correct?
That's the major part of it, yes. And,
Okay.
and the marketing will be going toward promoting
Parade.
the parade.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Got it.
And we can put that in the contract.
Perfect.
Great,
Okay.
Good point.
even better.
Very good. So any other board questions?
Marketing's more important than sound to me. I want to put that out there. I'm thrilled with what I'm hearing.
You have,
Yeah, just as a board member of the Veterans Alliance, marketing money is far more important than the quality of the sound to me. And
Okay.
I'm the father of a musician.
Okay.
Because it's this, we've got to have outflow. That's the most
The
important part.
real question that hasn't been asked yet is, do we have experience on teaching others how to march straight down the crooked
Of
cleave?
course we do.
Okay,
Where's
good.
the lead?
Just
No
teasing.
doubt about it.
All right, excellent. So, with any other board questions?
No,
Okay, all in favor?
aye.
It's unanimous.
Hoorah.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. 4.5, don't go anywhere. We need you back up there. The next item, and you're welcome, by the way. But the next item is the special event grant funding request for the Veterans Day event produced by the Veterans Alliance. So, we're ready for your presentation for part 2.
Good. I thought the presentation, we're not going to do the whole presentation
No.
over again. All right, thank you. All right.
Just,
My
yeah,
presentation is very simple. Duplicate what we just did.
okay, good.
Please.
Okay, but it's not gonna be a parade.
That's not necessarily true.
We can,
There's no reason we can't have a parade.
So 2 parades then, okay.
and so we could put that in the contract also? The parade for both?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
See, our problem is we're the Downtown Development Board. The sound really, and we're supposed to bring people into downtown, and the sound doesn't really do that. The parade does.
The parade.
Yeah.
And I think absolutely you would have a parade, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, again, the economic impact. So when you look at May, you don't have to worry about as many people coming in here as you do November, which is Veterans Day. So I think the hotel rooms are about half capacity in November compared to May, where they're at 85% capacity. So getting people here in November is even more important. And honestly, I think that one will be larger and that one will be bigger.
It will be.
Because it encompasses all veterans, where Memorial Day is more of a somber, paying respect to the people that gave their lives for this country. So still as important, but I think more people will get involved in Veterans Day. And the weather is a little bit cooler in November as well.
Good
Well
points.
said. And that, we look at Memorial Day as a tribute,
Right.
and we look at Veterans Day as a celebration.
Okay. Beautiful. Any questions by the board?
So the amounts are pretty much the same for both events, right? So,
It'd be the same,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you so generously care.
and you expect the expenses to be exactly the same as?
They're, right, it's just a duplicate, yeah.
Right. Well, you're mentioning that on the Veterans Day will be more people coming. So I would assume that if you have more people coming than you would have on Memorial Day, you might expect more expenses.
We don't know,
Right.
but generally speaking, yeah, your answer is yes, yeah, I agree with you. And particularly, starting back up again to this magnitude, Memorial Day is around the corner. Okay. And we need to get some advertising out there, some promotion already, and to build that up. But that's going to be the footprint to a larger footprint coming Veterans Day.
Right.
Because we'll have the momentum.
Mikhail brings up a good point. The gentleman who was talking about marketing specifics and iHeartRadio, I think you mentioned.
Yes.
Is it possible, because obviously it's a national holiday, both of them, or at least around the day, and there's a tremendous amount of promotion nationally on the two holidays. Is there a way to possibly tap into and tag along with like-kind marketing from these radio and TV stations?
Absolutely.
So we can get double the bang, triple the bang for the
I can't
marketing.
guarantee they'll do that, but I assure you it's something that they would want to do. Just a matter of having a conversation with them.
If people showed up in full gear and asked.
Some stations are more patriotic than other
Okay,
stations.
but it's possible.
Yes.
So there's also that to think with, is that we could be tapping into a whole bunch of other people generously helping. Yes?
To address the additional people, we're still, our costs are the costs we're funding are mostly for the sound, which has a a 9,000 person capacity regardless which day, and I think you all were hoping to have the 9,000 for both events.
Yes.
Yeah, so that wouldn't really affect these,
Got it.
okay?
And if I might add something, I mean, we expect this to get bigger and bigger. So there's a short fuse with Memorial Day. So we're gonna have to, we can do it and we will do it and we'll get it up and going and it'll be a good event. And then Veterans Day will be a better event. And then next Memorial Day, we'll actually make it bigger and better. And then come Veterans Day again, it's gonna be bigger and better. We're constantly gonna try to outdo ourselves.
You're not moving it to St. Pete.
No.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, good. It's on the record. Thank you, gentlemen, again. Any citizen comments? No? Okay, I'd like a motion. Ann, yes, before the motion.
I am not making a motion, I just wanted to let the board know, since I couldn't introduce this item, because this event falls in November, it's in your next fiscal year. So you are, whatever the board approves will be coming out of next fiscal year's budget.
Beautiful.
So,
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right.
Since I pay taxes in downtown, I don't have any problem with it.
Do I
So
have a
at least I
motion
get to decide on it.
from the taxpayers over here? Do I have a motion?
Yes, I'd like to propose a motion to approve the special event grant funding Veterans Day for the amount of $81,000.
Do I have a
I
second?
second.
Okay, Shahab, we have the motion.
We can't
full-
do that. We
If
just
it's the
don't
same
do it.
motion as before with 15,000 designated for marketing?
Shahab.
Sure, you can start it.
What?
You can propose a motion.
Okay. I'm gonna propose the motion to fund $81,000 with an increase of $15,000 from the ask of 66 for the marketing for Veteran Day. And the reasoning is because there is gonna be a huge economic impact in the entire downtown thanks to the parade. And also, we have a patriotism and affinity to the veterans.
Beautiful.
Okay?
So we have a motion. Do I have a second? Second from Mikhail? Good. Any further questions from between the board?
I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. We look forward to,
Congratulations.
this. I think I heard this is gonna be bigger than the Rose Bowl parade, so our expectations are not that high. Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And your service. Thank you, guys.
Chair, can I ask a change in the agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have a couple more items to go, and Mr. Del Rio is here to do his event report out. So before I go into my other items, I was just wondering if, as the chair, you could make a motion at least to move Mr. Del Rio forward so he could do his event report out.
Yes. You would like me to make a motion to move it?
Yes, as the chair, you can. Thank you very much. You're the only one who can change things around on the agenda.
If you're still hearing me, I just made a motion to make Ann's change.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I second it.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Rob needs to.
So I'll go through, so just let me know when you're ready and I'll.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I think I met most of everyone in the room already, but my name is Richard Del Rio. I'm with Florida Best Promotions, and I'm very proud to talk about South Central District, which we just hosted this past October. For the past 3 years, I think we've been really working together with you guys and the city of Clearwater. I love it here. I just love it. All right. So I'll start off with that. The goal of Florida Best Promotion is to make South Central District a flagship event for the city of Clearwater, making Clearwater a dance destination. The dance community is a vibrant community, not just locally here. It's very vibrant here. I used to be a teacher myself. I've been in the dance community for a long time, and it's very vibrant. But it's much bigger than what we have here. The dance community is strong all over the world. I mean, there's dance summits in Poland, Ireland, in Italy, in not just places like Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Colombia.
What did you call them? Dance summits?
Summits and congresses. You know,
Nice.
Congresses, which is kind of the vision of where I want this event to go. Is a full weekend with dance instructors from all over the world teaching at the different hotels. We obviously get people in those hotels all weekend long, and in downtown. I've heard some of the plans in downtown. I don't know what's real or not, but I hear about hotels and more hotels coming in to the downtown area, which is exciting to me. You know, I've been talked to about moving into park. I love the feel and the vibe of the event right in downtown, and I don't want to move from there. I like it there. You know, I have a great time doing it there. So that's our goal. This is a promo video that we did, partly with your funding. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but really proud how it came out.
Oh, I just got it to play
Oh.
too.
It's a great song too. The song was performed live by the artist. There it is. The artist. I'll let you watch the video first. This is all footage from downtown. that was the promo video. Let me go back to the overview of the event. Obviously, the event was October 14th. Advertising channels was social media, email, text, and radio. Estimated attendance was about 5,000 people. We have also post-event video and photography. Marketing spend, I believe, was 13. Spent over Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, text, email, influencer partnerships, and radio. And the radio sponsorship, we were able to leverage that for, it says 50,000 here, but I think it was more like 100,000 in radio time. And that's because of our track record of success with this event. The radio stations all know it, and they all are still fighting to be part of the next one, which I haven't even submitted a request for yet. I actually met with iHeart yesterday, and Beasley's still fighting, and Mega's still fighting. They all want to be in Clearwater. These are some examples of some of the ads that we ran digitally. We feel very strong about our digital campaign. We felt like that was the part that really made the event the success that it was the digital aspect of it. This was our strategy from a digital standpoint. So we used, this line here kind of shouldn't be there because Zoll did not push everyone to Eventbrite, but everything else is correct. So we used all those channels and pushed everyone to Eventbrite, which pushed everyone to Oktoberfest to here in downtown. The reason why that is important is because every time they go through Eventbrite, we collect their data and we're able to stay in touch with them. So here are some of the digital numbers. Very significant. Our paid impressions, almost 1 million people on paid impressions, which is very significant.
What was the total spend on that? I can't see it.
Total spend on Facebook alone?
Or just your digital marketing?
Digital marketing, I don't have that number in front of me.
What are those numbers at the top next to YouTube icon?
These are
got
these
it.
are impressions and clicks from the videos.
Yeah, no, I got it. I
There
thought.
were several videos, and we ran ads on YouTube as well.
Got it.
And this is what I believe made the event a success.
It was somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000, right?
Yeah, I don't remember
Somewhere in there.
that exact number right now, but I'd be happy to get back to you guys
That's
with
fine.
that number.
You just keep doing what you're doing. You had a lot of people.
Had a lot of people, and we all had a great time.
Right.
So next slide. I always collect pictures from the event because one of the things I want to impress on all of you is that salsa, our salsa festival is not just a Latin festival. Yes, it appeals to the Latin community, but it's a very diverse crowd. Salsa has crossed over and is not just a Latin thing anymore. And as you can see, we have all different race and economic, social levels represented in these pictures. These people right here are from a group called Ioko, or World Champion Salsa Dancers.
Wow.
World Champions right here. So that's pretty cool. Salsa instructors there. This picture right here is a style of dance. They're doing what's called Casino de Rueda, which is a Cuban style dance where they switch partners. They're doing it right here in downtown Clearwater, which is beautiful to me. Next slide, please. Some of the key takeaways from the registered data. This is where I think the real value comes in your spend with me. If you look at these dots, these are where people registered from. So we had almost 3,000 registrants out of 5,000 people, okay? And a big portion of that number, of those registrants, are not from Clearwater. So it's proof that we're bringing people from the outside into downtown Clearwater. Hard proof. I actually have the numbers. A tenth of the attendees, 10 are from Clearwater that registered.
I can attest, I was mingling for hours and I didn't see anyone I knew.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's great.
It's a number that I can definitely improve on, marketing locally. Obviously, I've been focusing on bringing outsiders in, so I can improve on that number. But a tenth, which leads to the next slide, 90% of the people that came, that registered, were from outside of Clearwater.
Beautiful.
You know?
That's actually good news.
It's, I thought it was a very,
We just need to clone you with all the other events.
I'm happy to help them. They just gotta put me in their budget. You know?
That's right.
Vast majority of the registrants can be directly attributed to the digital campaign. Super important. You know, digital, in my eyes, is the way to go, and it's just becoming more and more obvious. Someone used the word with me today, ubiquitous, I think is the word. It's a new word I learned today, which means kind of obvious, you know. Next slide. Some of the areas of improvements that we can work on based on key performance indicators. Radio advertising budget can be better utilized across advertising channels such as digital radio and digital, just digital. Sound in the park. DJ in the park worked well. Repeat and add food vendors. I don't know if we can put food vendors in the park or not, but it would be pretty cool to put them in there. The last time we did the event, I think it was in May, we had a full band in the park as well. And the sound was a little bit of an issue where they were clashing with the sound, and if anyone had anything to say about the event, they said that was a little weird. So we kind of worked on that for October, and it worked. And then convert key volunteers into paid event staff, which is all about funding. You know, we need funding to be able to pay people to do stuff that they're volunteering to do, you know. And then one of the problems that we have had is people parking behind the stage. I gotta do a better job at stopping that. But not a big issue. So that brings us to the recap of the event that we did in October. And I don't know if any of you guys speak Spanish. The words to the song fit this event.
How do you make
That was one of the flowers. dancers. Very high, world class. So, in this video,
This video.
that's a previous video of mine. But I wanted you to notice that, that we did have a video screen on the stage where the PDB was promoted. We had 2 LED trucks. I like using the LED trucks for mitigation purposes because it doubles as a way for me to promote the DDB, the city of Clearwater, and provide value to sponsors and vendors. So that's why I like using the LED trucks as mitigation. And it's not any more expensive than the John Trolley.
It was a beautiful event. Fantastic. Hope you do many, many more. Does the board have any questions for this gentleman?
No?
Thank you for taking the time to come back and share the videos. They're beautiful. There's a way we can get access to those?
Yeah, well, they're all on my YouTube page,
Okay.
they're all on my website
Okay.
as well. I don't mind
If we promote
emailing
them?
it to you guys, whatever
Okay.
you guys want.
You can email us a link, that'd be great.
I can do that,
Beautiful.
Thank you.
do that. Yeah.
And talk to Ann. If you want to fund your next event, I suggest you come back next month.
I plan to be here next month, talking about next October.
Very
Beautiful.
good. Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
driving over.
Thank you guys.
Oh, wait, didn't you start a business also?
I did, I just opened up a medical clinic in Tampa.
Right.
Interventional pain management, we do with also physical therapy in there.
They'll be one of your key sponsors next year?
They always sponsor. Agentes de Accidente is a marketing company
Yeah.
that obviously, targets the Latin community, and they're the marketing company for
Smart.
for my medical office and another medical office, which is called Aspire Pain Relief Institute. My new medical office is called Inspire.
Nice. Well, I don't mean to be rude or cut you off, but we kind of went along with our other projects. So again, thank you for
Yes,
coming.
no, no,
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think, Ann, we're back to 4.6, correct? The financial statement,
Yes,
and that has your name all over it.
that does have my name on it. So this item is to request approval of the December 2023 financial statement for filing. Your funds spent in the month of December were $382,223.88. Those expenditures are listed in your agenda item with an ending fund balance of $411,621.10. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Where, sorry, do I have that in?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, I found it. Got it. Thank you.
Asking for volunteers, is that a typo?
Volunteers.
Must be a typo. On my sheet.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't see volunteers on my agenda item.
Any citizen comments? Can I get a motion for the December 2023 financial statement?
Make a motion to approve the financial statements for December 2023.
We have a motion to approve by Jen. Do we have a second? Second by Kiara. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. And Ann, while you're up there, 4.7, we're going to review the 2023 Downtown Development Board election results.
So this item is the review of your election. So just, I have the information here on the screen. So just a recap, there are a total of 903 parcels within the Downtown Development Board boundaries. 143 of those are not eligible to vote. They're either owned by Pinellas County, the city of Clearwater. They did not pay taxes. 203 parcels were mailed voter registration forms, so they either needed one updated on file, or they do not have one. We received 28 new or updated forms and mailed out 485 ballots, received 174 ballots were returned on Tuesday, January 23rd. The DDB's canvassing committee, which consisted of DDB member Kiara Zanvini, CRA programs manager Vicki Shire, and myself, met with the city in the city clerk's office to count ballots. There were 3 seats that needed to be filled with a total of 4 candidates running. And your top 3 candidates were Jennifer, Terry, and Mikael. Any questions?
Any questions? Just for the record, because my name gets mispronounced on a daily basis, it's just so you know, it's Chiara Zanaboni. It's okay.
It's totally
No, no.
fine.
She's not offended. I was just wanting to point it out.
I do it every time.
Anyway, thank you for that. I think we're gonna rearrange a couple things. So 5.3 we're gonna go with next. Ex officio members. Lena, did you have something to?
Yeah, so the South continues to get accolades, and just a couple of examples: creative loafing. I'm taking a quote: simply put, there is no other venue like the South in downtown Clearwater. The South was also part of the Polestar worldwide evaluation of all amphitheaters worldwide. It looked at Q3 sales numbers. The important thing to note is that it also includes amphitheaters that have like 25,000. And in Q3, the South did not have all the sales included, but it's still ranked number 77 in the world. So not bad for partially captured data on its first year. City Council also has asked, and we received a presentation from city staff on creative ways to bring more retail and commerce downtown. What we're looking at right now is ambulatory, temporary, venues, whether it's Airstreams or vehicles of that nature. But it also includes parklets, which is a nice way to activate the streets, and it's very aesthetically pleasing. So we're working on that. The staff did a great presentation. And then on February 1st, after several discussions throughout work sessions as well as city council meetings, the council approved unanimously to revise the structure of the Downtown Development Board and passed ordinance 9744-24 on first reading. The next reading is going to be next schedule. So basically, one of the things we discussed and we actually passed unanimously was that we're going to have a hybrid model where we're going to retain the seven members with 5 council members and then 2 appointed members from the recently elected election. So that will be a hybrid model. And then, so this board would then conclude their service March 31st of 2024. The 2 citizens that will be appointed shall be selected from those board members who were recently elected, like I just said, and shall remain there to December 31st, 2027. At a public meeting in October of 2027, and every 3 years after that, the city council shall appoint or reappoint 2 citizens to serve as board members alongside the 5 city council members. And they shall have to either reside or work or own property or businesses in downtown. And then each citizen appointed can continue their appointment after 3 years. That's all that I can have.
Any board questions? Okay, thank you. Elise.
All right, the second reading of the ordinance will be Monday at the work session, so there will be no citizen comments. The ordinance is effective on passing. Right now, if you own taxable property in the DDB district, you pay extra taxes to fund the DDB. Under the current ordinance, you have the right to choose representatives who determine how the additional tax is spent, replace them if you don't think they're doing a good job, and dissolve the board and its extra tax if it no longer serves its purpose. The proposed amendment abolishes all elections and referendums by freeholders. I was told, well, they still have a voice because they can vote in citywide elections. That's not true. A large portion of our freeholders, since we are a business district, are entities, not people. So they will lose their vote entirely. Those others, 400 and some odd, are not going to make much of a difference in city elections. So they truly are losing their voice. The council is still taking the money, they just don't want to hear from the people who are paying it. As of March 31st, your terms will end. The board will consist of the 5 city council members and 2 members appointed by the city council. The initial appointment, as we have been told, will be from the 3 who were recently elected or re-elected. And they will serve for the 3-year terms. After that, the council will appoint 2 members who have to have the same type of ties to downtown as are required of you now. The independence of those members, who are subject to the goodwill of the council for appointment, remains to be seen. In summary, when this amendment passes, the property owners who pay the tax will lose the right to choose their own representative, and it will pass. There's no Hail Mary here. In summary, when this amendment passes, the property owners who pay the tax will lose the right to choose their own representatives and the ability to abolish the tax. Very clear example of taxation without representation, and, in my opinion, overreach. New subject. You, as members who will no longer be members, you still have to file your last financial report. Okay, so there is a final report you will have to file. Do make sure that that gets done shortly after the 31st, March 31st.
The one that I gave you for.
There's a while you're still in form and a when you're gone form. Okay.
This will be my
To put it in legalese.
Okay.
Okay. So that's, unless you have questions, that's all I've
I
got.
have 2 questions for you. The people being nominated have the right to not accept, I assume.
Oh yeah.
And then were you,
You can't. We gave up slavery a few years ago.
just asking. And then were you given a reason why the appointments were to the newly elected versus the rest of the board?
No, I think it just was the way it was drafted.
Is there,
Apparently, that's the most recent voice. I don't know.
is there a reason on that?
We directed the staff, specifically Mr. Margolis, to come up with various options. I voted for it because I thought that it was the best way to represent the latest voice, which is the latest 2 appointees. I just thought it was a good solution myself. I cannot speak for the others or do another reading, but that was my personal opinion. Having the most recently elected sounded like a fair reflection of the latest opinion.
I see. Any other questions for Elise?
No.
Thank you.
We all have one more meeting.
One more meeting. 5.4 CRA updates. Ann?
So the only thing that I would like to do is introduce our new CRA Executive Director, Ms. Usnino. And to open it up for any comments.
All the way from Tampa. Welcome to town.
Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Great.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. I do have one question. I don't know much about you. I assume you were in city government elsewhere?
Yes, I've been a long-range planner, strategic planner, current planner, also an economic development manager, also a planning manager in the city of Largo, economic development manager in the city of Bradenton, also a CRA manager in the Bradenton area. And my last role was the development manager for City of Tampa for the West Tampa Park. So I bring a lot of experience to the table. Plus construction
then, well, if you did construction and you know economics, then what's your vision for both CRAs here with what's all been happening?
Getting my feet wet, but usually the way CRAs work is they already have plans in place for us to push forward and implement. So of course, we'll be looking at those as staff and the trustees and the stakeholders of the community to make sure that they're actually in alignment with what's needed by the city.
Well, you must be excited to come here if you volunteered. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for this gentleman? And with that, at 7 o'clock, meeting adjourned.